Hello, my name is Rich Howard, owner of Architectural Builder Supply. In this video is to bring you a closer look at the Bilco number RPSWJ300. This is a replacement lifting mechanism for a variety of different, not a variety, but different items that you will see from Bilco. This might be used in the underside, obviously, of a roof hatch. It might be used as something that would be seen in a floor door or a sidewalk type door or a pit door or a vault door. Where exactly you're going to find this 300-pound rated lifting mechanism is somewhat of a mystery, meaning the factory, when they build their units, they calculate the lifting mechanism required, whether it's 180 pound or 300 pound or 480 pound, the quantity of them. So we don't really know where they're going to show up in common items because Bilco doesn't provide that information directly. Okay, we can work around that, hopefully. We can always certainly... So what I'm saying is there's always a certain amount of guesswork involved because we can't just know where you might end up needing this. But what we can do is give you all the important dimensional properties of this item so that you can determine if this is a proper replacement for your existing. If one is gone, meaning you're missing one and you're not sure if you need a 180 pound or a 300 pound or something custom completely, there is a link below this video to the manufacturer's page where you can pull up a document called Worksheet for Lid Replacement. And that will allow us, especially page 2 of that document, to determine when you complete that, we can send that to Bilco and have them tell us what is required in terms of a lifting mechanism. So if you, wherever you're starting out from, the RPRS 180 is by far the most common one. For every one of these that we would sell, we probably sell 1,000 of the 180s. There's a 480 pound version as well. For every one of those we sell, we probably sell 1,000 RPRS 180s. So what I'm trying to say is don't assume this is correct. Don't assume a 180 is correct or a 480. And if there's guesswork, reach out to us. We'll help you determine that. Now, helping determine what this is, obviously this is pre-compressed. So you install this compressed. The zip tie is here holding the pin in. That spring is under pressure, obviously. When you get this installed, you will then, when you're controlling the lid, release the tension on the spring. These are 2 plastic telescoping tubes, naturally, so you want to have some control over this. When you cut this free, you probably want to have the latch in the position required for you to get it installed in a pre-compressed scenario, and then control the lid and then remove the pin and therefore the pre-compression. Now, an overall height of this, top of the tube to the bottom, about 14 inch. Okay, 13 and 15/16. Overall diameter of the larger top tube, about 2.5. Diameter of the smaller or lower tube, about 2 1/16. With other lifting mechanisms, you will get a couple of angle brackets. The RPSWJ300 does not include those because in installations where you will find this, those brackets are literally welded to the underside of the lid. Okay, so you won't get any brackets with this. Perhaps a tip off if you need a 300 is, are the brackets welded to the underside of the lid? Okay. Now for the bottom, you're going to get this bottom boot made of aluminum. You are going to get a bolt for the top that will go through your mounted brackets. Okay, so your 2 brackets, this will fit inside. There's your bolt for the top. Then of course you're going to get, again, the bottom boot, and then you will get a total of, and all these bolts are stainless, by the way, these hex cap screws, I should say, with some nylon lock nuts. That will be to hold it on down here at the bottom. And obviously you see how that's going to fit there. Okay. That's what that installation is going to look like. Okay, so we've talked about not being sure where this is going to come from, but I've provided dimensional properties to help you determine if this is correct, and a tip to determine. Again, the ears, as they're called, the brackets, are welded to the underside of the cover on the Bilco pit, on the Bilco vault, floor and sidewalk type doors. If you feel that you need the brackets for that, Bilco is going to want, for this, the RPRS, pardon me, the 300-pound shock, Bilco is going to want to see a photograph of the unit that you have. Really what they want to do is not engage in just sending out roof scuttles or lifting mechanisms when it's not their product, or it's not, or it's some maybe homemade sort of scenario, and you'd think they would want to do that kind of work, but they don't, from my perspective, because there's so much geometry, weight, calculation, engineering that has to go into it. And I've had people buy the RPRS 180s to call me back later and say, you know, they don't work. What you sold me doesn't work. Well, please explain. Well, I made my own roof hatch. Stop right there. This stuff is really only intended for Bilco installations. It's only intended for that. And if you go outside of that, not to say that you're on your own in terms of success or failure, but I'm not trained in terms of being an engineer for roof hatches, and Bilco will not engage in the conversation. So in essence, you will need to make some determinations prior. Now, if you're going to use this on something custom made, what it strikes me is you need to be able to get this installed compressed, but you need to be able to uncompress it without the tubes physically leaving each other. And that's really the guesswork, and allowing it to open up to a point where you will be able to have the unit physically work where you need it to work. There is no way that I have of recompressing these, and I can suggest no safe way of recompressing this. So mounting this onto a custom roof hatch at the top and bottom so that it actually closes but yet opens to the right dimension, the right degree for you, and the telescoping tubes never leaving each other, that's the part where you want to try to determine best what can be done about a custom sort of roof hatch lid. So brackets they will consider providing. They'll want to see a photograph of your existing unit, and it's likely that it's aluminum based on the actual installation. So what we've got is, what we have provided here are dimensions on the physical compressed unit, the diameter of the tubes. That will hopefully help you determine if you're on the right path. Then finally, there is a link below this video to a document called Technical Drawing that will allow you to review what this looks like in a compressed sort of state. Okay. They will also, there is also a link below this video to the manufacturer's page, finally, which I had mentioned earlier, where you can review not only all of the Bilco items that we sell, but a link to the manufacturer's website and a link to the product catalog as well. If there's any questions that we can help determine with you prior to purchase to eliminate out the possibility of any guesswork left over, please do feel free to reach out to us. Thank you very much.